Hello everyone. My name is Shelby. Welcome back to my channel, Grace with Books. Today I'm going to be talking about some of the upcoming releases that I am so excited for. Also, this is my first video in my new room, so welcome. I think I'm not totally done decorating, so I'm gonna hold off on any room tours until later. But today we're just going to talk about the books that are coming out in September, October, and November that I am super excited for. I'm literally going to go broke buying these books, so that's fine. But yeah, I thought we could get started. So I'm pretty sure all the books on my list except for one are like paranormal, sci-fi, fantasy, and then one is contemporary. Most of these books are debut releases, which means that they're the first in their series, and some of them are continuations of series, but those are in the minority, so hopefully all of these books will be ones you guys have not read yet. I am super excited to read them. There's so much cool stuff coming out, and this intro is going on really long, so let's get started with the books I'm excited to read. The first book on this list is Cemetery Boys, and that is by Aiden Thomas. It will be released on September 1st. Cemetery Boys follows a boy named Yadriel, I don't know, who is Latinx, and his family is having problems currently accepting his gender. So in order to prove himself to his family, he decides to prove himself as a real brujo, which is a sorcerer. He wants to accomplish this by finding and raising the ghost of his murdered cousin and setting that ghost free. But accidentally, he summons his school's resident bad boy named Julian Diaz, who now won't leave Yadriel alone. Julian wants Yadriel's help tying up some loose ends in the mortal world, but the longer that Julian stays by Yadriel's side, the less Yadriel wants him to go. So I think it's gonna be super interesting. I've heard that the romance is just beautiful, so I'm really excited for this sort of ghost and sorcerer romance. I think it's gonna be great. I've heard the writing is phenomenal, so yeah, I'm really looking forward to Cemetery Boys, which is out September 1st. Next up, we have Blood and Honey, which is also being released September 1st, and that is by Shelby Mahurin. This is the sequel to Serpent and Dove, which came out last year. I was fortunate enough to go to an author signing, so I got to meet Shelby Mahurin and get a book from her, which was cool. She said I had a cool first name because we have the same first name anyway. For those of you who do not know what Serpent and Dove is about, it follows a witch named Lou who is on the run from her coven and a witch hunter named Reed. When an accident causes them to unite in a marriage of convenience, Lou must try to hide her identity from her now husband, who does not know she's a witch. Blood and Honey, I believe, is taking place almost immediately after Serpent and Dove, where that ended. It's going to be introducing more covens as well as expanding the world that Serpent and Dove showed us. So very excited for Blood and Honey. Serpent and Dove definitely got some mixed reviews. I personally loved it. I'm super excited to do a reading vlog for it. It is definitely one of my most anticipated releases of the year, and I'm so excited that it is so close to coming out. And yeah, so just super excited for Blood and Honey, out September 1st. The next book on my list is Early Departures by Justin A. Reynolds, and that will be released September 22nd. Justin A. Reynolds also wrote The Opposite of Always, which I read earlier this month and adored. I thought it was such a heartwarming story, and I have a feeling I'm also going to enjoy Early Departure. The blurb on this book is, what if you could bring your best friend back to life, but only for a short amount of time? Basically, in this society, there is a new technology that is able to reanimate people after death, but only for a short amount of time before they die for good. This story follows Q, who has recently been reanimated but doesn't know that he's been reanimated, so he thinks he's just been alive this whole time. And it also follows Jamal, Q's former best friend. All Jamal wants is to make things right with his friend Q after they had a falling out a year before, but Q's mother does not want him to know that he has been reanimated or that he is going to die soon again. So Jamal has to figure out a way to fix things with Q without telling him the truth of the circumstances. So I've heard that this is very emotional. Justin A. Reynolds has such a knack for writing compelling characters. He's really good at just making you fall in love with them, and I have a feeling this book is going to be extremely emotional, extremely personal, and I love that all of Justin A. Reynolds' books are contemporary but with a kind of paranormal sci-fi twist. So I just think it's going to be a hell of a book. I'm definitely gonna have tissues on hand when I read it, but I'm very excited for it to come out, and it will be out September 22nd. So the next book I'm going to talk to you guys about, I actually already have. I received an ARC of this book from BookCon because I won it in a giveaway. I'm very excited, and that would be Shine by Jessica Jung, and this is getting released September 29th. For those of you who do not know, because I did not know before receiving this book, Jessica Jung, the author, was actually a lead vocalist in one of the biggest K-pop groups called Girls' Generation, and she is actually here writing a book about the world of K-pop, so I'm very excited for that perspective. It has been described as Crazy Rich Asians meets Gossip Girl, two shows / books I absolutely adore. We specifically follow a girl named Rachel Kim, who has just been signed by one of the largest K-pop agencies, which has been a dream of hers for a very long time. But as the dark scandals and secrets of the industry begin to bubble up, Rachel starts to doubt herself and wonders if she can ever be a winner in this industry or if she'll be crushed. There's music, there's K-pop, there's romance. As someone who's recently gotten into K-dramas, I'm really excited to read this. And I just think it's gonna be fun and upbeat, and I think it's so cool that the author herself has experience in that industry. Besides that, I've really heard no buzz about this book, so I'm excited to read it, and I hope you guys are now interested in it as well. So Shine will be released September 29th. The next book on my list is Kingdom of the Wicked by Carrie Maniscalco, who is the author of the Stalking Jack the Ripper series, which I love, and it will be released on October 27th. Kingdom of the Wicked follows twin sisters Amelia and Vittoria, who are Strege. Basically, those are witches who live secretly among humans. One night, Amelia finds her twin sister Vittoria's body completely desecrated and vows revenge on those who murdered her sister. But things become even more complicated when one of the wicked princes of hell named Wrath, someone who Amelia has been warned against her entire life, visits her and tells her that he has been assigned to help her solve the murder of her sister and all the other murders of women around the island where they live. And Amelia has to decide whether to trust him or not, and also how to, murder the person who killed her sister. I love Carrie Maniscalco. I had never read any kind of thriller or horror series until I read Stalking Jack the Ripper, and I absolutely love her writing. I love her characters. I am so excited she's doing like a fantasy paranormal book now, and I just think it's gonna be fabulous, and I love her so much. I'm so excited to read this. Also, I'm always a sucker for any book with any of the princes of hell. I always think they're so fun to read about, and I'm just very excited for this book to come out. I think it's gonna be the perfect spooky read, which is perfect because it comes out like 4 days before Halloween, October 27th, so be sure to check out Kingdom of the Wicked. The last book I am going to gush about today is How the King of Elfhame Learned to Hate by Holly Black. So, if you are a fan of the Cruel Prince series by Holly Black, this little illustrated novella tells the story of Prince Cardan, who is one of the princes of Fairyland, also known as Elfhame. And it talks about his life before the first book, The Cruel Prince, about how he learned to be so cruel and evil. We get to see a little bit of his perspective throughout the series, and we also get to hear a little bit more about him after the series ends. So this book is entirely Cardan, who is definitely one of my favorite like anti-hero villainish type characters. I absolutely adore him, and I'm really excited to get an entire book about him from his perspective. As I said before, this novella will be illustrated, which is super cool. Holly Black says it is an amazing collector's edition, and I have like all of the Barnes & Noble special editions of the Folk of the Air series, so I'm excited to add it to this one. And I'm really just excited to see Cardan's perspective, because that's something we do not get throughout the entire series. We read the series from the main character Jude's perspective, who paints Carden in a very ugly light. So I'm excited to see how he viewed the events from the series. So very excited for that to come out. How the King of Elfhame Learned to Hate will be released November 24th, and I'm just so excited to read it. Those are all the books that I am getting excited for that are getting released in the next few months. I swear to God, Barnes & Noble is just gonna have all of my money when this is done. It's fine. What are some books you guys are excited to be released that I may not have mentioned? Please let me know down below. I would love to check them out. And that is it for this video. So if you guys enjoyed, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. Hit the notification bell to get updates on when I post. I post every single Monday and Thursday, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!